3rd of February. Hello and welcome to Camnet TV's edition of Friday Breakfast Show. Your host, I am Kapitula Afias. For 1 hour or so, we're going to be having discussions on governance and various issues, as well as zooming headlines in terms of stories that we had in our news. I'm hopeful that a little bit earlier, Vincent Piri is going to be with me in the studio. Just about now, we head into our first segment, which is the Health Corner, and hear what the doctors have to tell us.
Good morning. My name's Dr. Rafat Basit Masa. I'm coming from Medical Women's Association of Zambia, MWAZ, and I'm from University Teaching Hospital. I'm working in Department of Surgery. We have been talking about very exciting topic, that's burns. We've talked about introduction of burns, we've talked about causes of burns, we've talked about symptoms of burns, we've talked about treatment of burn. This whole week we've been talking about also complications of burns. Today we're going to talk about prevention of burns. Remember, we have talked about burns, what causes burns. Remember, we talked about things that cause burns are hot water, oil, porridge. Then you can have acids, you can have alkalines, you can have electricity, you can have so many chemicals, you can have so many things that causes burns. And these burns are quite devastating, because it totally changes the life of a person. So we talked about also the symptoms. We said the burns are very painful, they become red, there is loss of skin. So we also talked about types of burns. We talked about first degree, we talked about second degree, and we talked about third degree. We talked about first degree, which is more of superficial burns. They can be handled quite well with just ointments and a bit of cleaning around. But second degree burns are slightly deeper than the first degree burns, and they need to be cleaned under supervision. So you find that they are also very painful, and they also cause you to not to move a part of your body because you are so much in pain. So it's also something very, very difficult and devastating. Then we also talked about third degree burn, which are the most devastating burns because they burn your organ can be burned, your bones can be burned, your muscles can be burned, you can be really burnt deeply. And those burns actually have no pain because you have lost all the sensation in that area of your body. If it's a very big area, so it means you have lost sensation in that whole part of your body. So you find that that causes you to actually lose a lot of fluids. You find that your kidney starts to fail, your heart starts to dysfunction, you lose a lot of blood, you become very dehydrated. So all these factors that come in as complications of burns. So in terms of prevention of burns, let's make sure that we prevent our burns. We make sure that we keep ourselves safe. When you don't have electricity, when you switch on candles, make sure the candles are kept somewhere far away. They should not be so close to you that you end up, because majority of the kind of patients we receive, they sleep in the night. You find that they have put candles in their close to them, and you find that candle falls onto the blanket gets burned together with the patient, and you find they actually get very, very severe burns, and it's so difficult and it's so devastating. Getting burnt is not a nice thing. Everyone wants to have their skin the way they are. It's not nice to get burnt and lose that beautiful face of yours. It's very, very depressing. We also have people we have majority of children getting burnt, which is a very, very sad, it's a very sad thing for us, because children are our future and they are getting burned, which is not a nice thing. So you find that majority of children are getting burnt because of they are kept with the maid, and majority accidents happen because the parents, you find the father and the mother have gone out for work and they are left with their nannies, and somehow they get burned, which is also very sad. So we have to ensure that when we are keeping children, other people's children, so please make sure that you look after them like your own child. Make sure you protect them from stoves, from electricity, from hot pots, hot oil, all these things. When you're cooking in the kitchen, tell them not to enter the kitchen until they are done with the work. This thing of putting pots and hot things on the stove and leaving that place for a little bit of time, it's already enough time for a child to go and touch that thing and burn him or herself completely. So it's something which we can prevent ourselves. Make sure in the bathtub, when you're filling hot water for a child, ensure that you see the hot water yourself, fill it with your hands, and make sure that it's not too hot, because that way you also burn the children. We've also received people who have been burnt like that. So you make sure that it also psychologically depresses you. There are a lot of people who have been burnt, great percentages. You find they are alive, but they are always depressed. They have tendency of they don't want to live anymore because they feel like they are no longer beautiful anymore, and they feel like they are different from the rest of the world. So they have started isolating themselves. They become very, very depressed, which is not a nice thing, because we all want to see each other happy. We also want to see each other healthy. Being healthy it's very happy. There's a lot of happiness of being healthy. So ensure that we protect ourselves. Your sockets, please ensure that you keep them away from children, because the electrical burns that we receive are very, very deep. They are very hard to also to treat as well, and they are also very difficult for the patient, because, for example, one area has been burned and they cannot live like a normal person. They cannot write books anymore. They cannot study. They cannot do a lot of things. That becomes very difficult. So make sure that we keep our children safe from getting burnt, because in UTH we receive so many burn patients every single day, which can easily be avoidable. And majority of these children get burnt with their nannies. It's very rare that mothers actually they get burnt with mothers. So please make sure that when we are leaving our children with nannies, we make sure we speak to them very nicely to tell them that please look after my child and make sure that he or she does not get burnt. Because getting burns, you end up spending lots and lots of time in the hospital. That's also very depressing, because you find that you are in hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks, and time goes, and even after your child is fully functional, you find the child is depressed because of the huge trauma that he or she has gone through. So please make sure that you protect everyone else and yourself. So our take-home message is: prevent is better than getting cure. So prevent yourselves from getting burned. Prevent your little kids from getting burned. If you prevent yourself from getting burned, then you will have none of these complications. So please ensure that you look after yourselves and you look after our children. My name's Dr. Rafat Basit Masa. I'm coming from Medical Women's Association of Zambia, MWAZ. This whole week we've gone through burns. We'll be bringing you different types of exciting topics that you'll be learning from us every single day. Every day you'll be learning different beautiful things. Being happy is being healthy. Being healthy is being happy. So make sure that we all live healthy and happy. Please keep watching Camnet, because it will bring you different topics with different complications, different preventions, and different ways of looking into it. Thank you very much.
You're watching the Camnet TV Breakfast Show, and that was our health corner right there, just telling us in terms of preventing burns, which can be severe, and also they have a traumatic effects, especially on the patients, even after they get healed. Right about now, let me just welcome Mr. P.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah.
I thought you were on the way to Enchwa.
Yeah, unfortunately no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're like, maybe this person has gone. Otherwise, thank you very much that you have managed to come and be with the viewers.
Yeah.
This morning. It's a good morning, and we're expecting to discuss a lot of issues, especially in governance and current affairs. Just about now, we move into the money markets and see how the kwacha is faring. It has been dancing, maybe so to say.
Yeah.
In the past few days, excitement, people walk, what? Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, we'll see what we have.
What we have this morning.
Yeah.
All right, there we have it. The US dollar this morning is buying at 22 kwacha, 75 ingwe, selling at 23 kwacha, 19 ingwe. The euro is buying at 24 kwacha, selling at 63 ingwe. And those ingwe, selling at 25 kwacha and 11 ingwe. The South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha, 119 ingwe, selling at 1 kwacha to 1 ingwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 28 kwacha, 75 ingwe. They are selling at 29 kwacha, 31 ingwe there. The gains, though being lost, but we're still in the margin of gain.
Yeah.
Looking at where the kwacha was, it was around 26?
27.
27,
Yes.
So from that margin, we are still in that range of gain, though still fluctuating.
Yeah, it's still fluctuating because I remember a few days we had hit 20 kwacha at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there we are. Probably we'll be able to see the effects of that change, of that gain much later on.
Yeah, that is the goal, that this kwacha appreciation, it must reflect on prices, which is the major cry of citizens out there. They want to see the effect trickle down in terms of the cost of living and all that, and we just hope that it continues.
Yeah.
And that trajectory even continue coming down, and it also stabilizes.
It stabilizes, yeah, because the issue now is when the kwacha is unstable like that, the problem comes in terms of planning. You are moving from here, you are going to order in Tanzania. By the time you reach there, the kwacha has depreciated. Then it will be a loss on you as a trader, or as a business person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right about now, viewers, you can be part of this program by using the phone numbers on the screen. You can have your view on the stories that we're going to be zooming in, and also just other issues that are obtaining out there, and also issues especially of business. Today we try by all means to focus on business, which is everything. You can't live without business. Yeah. Going to stories, and my first story is about business. The Online Taxi Drivers Association of Zambia has charged that the new support measures that a local company Yango plans to implement will not have any significant impact on their business. In an interview with Camnet News, Association President Lucas Chanda says the 11% increase in tariffs per kilometer in urban areas is not significant considering the current harsh economy. Mr. Chanda disclosed that the association is working on developing a model for taxis similar to the one bus drivers have, that stipulates a fixed price per kilometer and will be presented to the Minister of Transport and Logistics and the said company. For now, let's go into that story.
On the 21st of February, Yango announced support measures to partner with drivers in Zambia. The measures include an increment of the cost per kilometer inside the Yango tariff for drivers up to 23%, which is broken down as follows. In the economy mode, the cost of a kilometer in urban cities will be increased by 11% and in suburbs by 22%. In the comfort mode, the cost of a kilometer in urban cities will increase by 12% and 17% per kilometer in suburbs. In the comfort mode, the cost per kilometer in urban cities will increase by 15% and 23% in suburbs. This increment has not elated the Online Taxi Driver Association, that says the increment is a drop in the ocean as its impact will not be felt by the drivers. Online Taxi Drivers Association President Lucas Chanda says the 11% increment on the economy mode that is majorly used by customers does not amount to anything.
Remarks, I would say Yango hasn't done anything. To be honest, Yango hasn't done anything because most of the clients, they book economy, and economy they have increased about 11%. What is 11% of 20 kwacha? It's 2 kwacha, 2 kwacha 2 ngwe. Now, really, how much is the fuel pump price today? Per liter we are buying at 34 kwacha 19 ngwe. Is it adding up? It is not adding up. So that one, it is not making sense to the drivers out there. See what happens to Minibus and Taxi Drivers Association of Zambia. They have got their own model, and this is whereby whenever the pump pricing of fuel increases, they also increase the fares. So we need to also come up with that model whereby for us it will determine the per kilometer, how much per kilometer we'll be charging. So
And Habenzu Mulanda, a Yango driver, says Yango should remove the customer feature that allows customers to reduce the price as this affects their business.
The prices are just too low. And then Bayango wamene wanafaka ka option ko kuweza mdenge. Customer upwards, it brings confusion. And then food na percentage ene badiamo is just too big. If they can't increase the fares, kasi ku percentage ene badiamo 17%, babwezeko.
Mr. Mulanda says Yango should allow drivers to see the price of orders before they accept the ride as a way of showing transparency in their business.
Let's say aenda pa East Park, alipira zingati. Not kuti order ibwera vabisa chani. Which means there is no honesty when vane vachita. Maona era futi ukachikana chi order futi kuti ma punishment but block almost every day because pa vitu vane vachita. So that if una bachita chabe improve, otherwise it's a good thing manje. Kasebeze dokawa skari mushi. There is no transparency on monopoly. Business yonse, a person must have a choice. Either he orders zaitenga or EI. Chani vabisira ni chani.
Meanwhile, Edmond Mwemba, a Yango driver, had this to say.
Nasiya bana kunyumba kuti nipangawo kali konse niguleko unga. So unga nofunika kugula 3 days kuti nikwanise kugula unga. Mulandu wako bati vinyamula ma 20 kwacha, ma 13 kwacha, 15 kwacha, sinipeza ma profit iliyonse. Mayona. So ufunika at least vaikirako yabwino noti ma 2 kwacha. Iyo ni simve kaloko wani. Sikwalipe impact iliyonse enempe. Nukuruko chape.
Online taxi drivers continue to hope for better conditions of service from car-hailing companies. Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The impasse between drivers, online taxi drivers, and the mother company, which is Yango, has continued, and we see there that the association has denied in terms of the improvements the company is thinking of bringing to the sector, saying the increments are not enough.
Yeah, I think even on the part of a customer, sometimes you feel that impact, that you feel that what the drivers are going through. Mm-hmm. Imagine, first of all, what we understand is when going to pick up that client, they are not charged. The client is not charged. Mm-hmm. And what they use in there is fuel. And you don't know how far that driver is coming from. And you are coming to charge them, the client, a 20 kwacha, 34 kwacha, at a distance where close to a liter is consumed. Mm-hmm. I think it's not fair.
I think we need to find a lasting solution to this problem because, you know, it's just going to be ongoing.
Yeah.
My view is that we're in a free market economy. Those drivers, they can choose to be on a different platform. They can also choose to be on that platform. I think they are on that platform because it is a giant in the sector.
Yeah,
that is the
more
reason
like
they are on
monopolized
the
market,
sector, yes. And also I think for government, it is time even through the Ministry of Science and Technology. I think we can come up with even other solutions, help the drivers who are having issues.
Yeah, I remember hosting the association country coordinator. Should be, is it this week? Early this week or so? If not last week, I don't know, I've forgotten. He mentioned this. If government can create its own app and then drivers start subscribing to that app, I think it will help because first of all, government understands what its people are going through, and it would be more like a win-win solution, both to the drivers themselves, then the clients who are us commuters, as well as the government, which is through the economy, of course.
Yeah. You see, we are in a digital era, and with many things have been digitalized. We can't run away from that fact, and it's very important that the Ministry of Science and Technology, they should come in and also see how they can move in as much as it's under the Ministry of Transport and Logistics. The Ministry of Transport and Logistics has been tied, understandably so, because it's a free market economy, how things are operating. Do we have a call? Hello?
Camnet?
Yes, it is Camnet. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, yes. I want to make a contribution on observation.
Sure, I can go ahead.
Yes, yes. I think what the association is also claiming, we are also not really fair to the community. If you look at their operation, these are two correctly. When you go to pick someone, they will not just move randomly as you think. They will pick someone, if there is someone there, and you see where you are going to be connected to someone. So at times the issue of fuel, yes, it's high, but the way they are taking it, they just also want to explain the sustainers. This is also not very, very good. Because they don't move from one point without a car. Now listen, if you move from town to Northmead, you pick someone there, and taking maybe to Roadspot. While in the Roadspot, you will be connected to another farm. Take that person. So at the end of the day, you will find that it's really not as the way they are portraying. So, you should not to make how much to get profit. It is not for me, it's not really your style. I thought you would like to thinking as well.
Your name, sir? Your name, sir? Your name?
I'm Chris Fowler.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Awesome.
Sure. So you can do the same as well. You can use the numbers on the screen and be part of this conversation. I think one of the major stories we're looking at is the Yango drivers, the Online Drivers Association, who have disputed the adjustments by the mother company, which is Yango, in terms of improvements after persistent complaints in terms of the conditions fueled by the increment in the again the fuel pump prices. We have another caller there. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, this is Gideon from Osaka.
Sure, you can go ahead.
Alright, so just like the previous caller is from saying, the way these younger people are complaining about fuel is as if they do not lead the terms and conditions as well as how apps operate. Because I believe for you to commit to business, there are terms and conditions. So after reading those terms and conditions, they agree to them. And then the other thing is the nature of Yango is mobile. So if you pick someone, maybe from Tawama to town, when you drop that client there, you are not supposed to move. You are supposed to park there and wait for the next order. And the next order must be within the proximity of where you are parking from. That's why Yango says looking for the nearby driver. So if I am at Tema Tower and then I'm looking for a vehicle, someone is somewhere along Cairo, then it will connect me to that person who is in Cairo. You get it will not come and connect me to someone who is at Unga. That is wrong. So it says nearby, within the proximity. So I feel because increasing again from the commuter aspect again, it won't be fair. You get so they committed to it. So I feel before committing to anything, you read the terms and conditions. That's the problem with us Africans.
Now,
we have to make ourselves in something that we do not understand the
Mr. Gideon,
terms and conditions as well as the consequences.
Mr. Gideon, I would like to disrupt you a bit.
Okay.
Yes, I suppose when these people were committing themselves to operate under this app, the prices of fuel were not as high as they are today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe their concern can be genuine in that angle.
You see, this is the term that we say with bus drivers. You get that? They increase the fuel by 2 quarter or 3 quarter, then they want the bus fare to be increased by 3 quarter from one passenger. You get that? A bus carries maybe 16 passengers. Then the fuel price is being increased by 2 quarter. Then they increase 2 quarter to one passenger, meaning 2 quarter times 16, that's 2 quarter. So there is exploitation from us as passengers. And then the other thing is this. Even as they complain, these young guys, if fuel prices were to come down, let's say at 20 quarter today, they will again come and what campaigns to say why is the young reducing prices. So we are good at increasing when things increase, but we are so comfortable with reducing when things reduce. So the issue of young drivers and bus and the bus association of Zambia, it's addressing almost the same issue. So I feel what you said is true. The government needs to step in on this issue and then find a way that they can, come with solutions which will best the young drivers and ask the commuters. Unlike all challenging the attention to one zone, who are the young drivers, what of the commuters? Because the problem is that. So then they'll feel good, but the commuters also, after certain young, and that is what the young owners are focused about, to lose customers.
Thank you very much.
From the business aspect, young owners again, they are focused about that, and that's what I love about them. They are concerned about the commuters who are their customers.
Mr. Gideon, thank you very much for your point.
Need much of grand attention, but let's be real, let's be realistic. Let's not only channel resources to one end, but let's look at it from the both sides of the coin and try to strike a balance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gideon. Thank you for contribution. All right, moving on. One of the stories I have is from the community. The Kachaso traders in some dense populated areas of Lusaka have struggled to find alternative sources of income. A tour at Camnet market in Lusaka's garden compound found women and men actively involved in the sale of cachaso, an illicit local beer. Loveness Daka, a resident of garden compound, explains in an exclusive interview with Camnet News that brewing cachaso is the sole means of supporting her livelihood. Meanwhile, a medical expert, Teddy Mulenga, has urged citizens to avoid consuming cachaso due to its potential health risk. We can go into that story.
Cachaso Brewing here in Lusaka Kanele's garden compound has become a reliable alternative source of income, especially in the face of harsh economy. Majority of the brewers are women thriving to make ends meet for their families. Mainly, it is considered as an easy startup business as it does not require much capital, which makes it easy for the people to start up. One of the brewers of Cachaso, Loveness Daka, spoken to by this journalist, says it is her only source of income as she has tried other businesses which have not yielded profitable results. Ms. Daka says she's aware of the measures against the brewing of Cachaso, but that's the only way she can survive and make ends meet. However, a health expert has warned of the dangers of this brew, saying it mainly targets the brain, thereby killing the brain cells. Dr. Teddy Mulenga advised against abusing the local brew, commonly known as Cachaso.
But clearing the data out of the liver, that's what it does. The next one to suffer is the brain. Your brain cells die, you lose memory, you lose looking after yourself. You know, you are always dirty because your brain cells are dead and you're not thinking straight. The next one will be the kidney. It destroys the kidney, you have kidney failure. And without a kidney, the next step is death. So these are the changes that Cachaso can bring to the body.
Myths around this brew are that the local brew prevents one from contracting cholera and COVID-19, which medical experts have strongly disputed. Prudence Chibwe, Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet TV Breakfast Show with me, Afias Kaptula and Vincent, the Friday edition, and that is just the Cachaso story. Zooming headlines, we had it in our news. And it is disturbing that the brewing of Cachaso has continued. However, there is an economic part to it that it's a source of livelihood, especially for some individuals in these compounds. Historically, even some people have been educated through the same beer. We have seen the news of local government and rural development, especially during this COVID pandemic, going into the public, into the compounds, throwing away the beers and everything, but after they leave, it's business as usual.
Business as usual. I think what's needed is to come up with a win-win solution, because we understand that, as you said, on the other side of this illicit trade, there is the economic aspect. So even if you go into the compounds and then throw away the beers, what assurance are we giving to those people to make sure that they survive? Yeah.
But suffice to mention that Cachaso is a very bad beer.
Very, as you put
it's very bad. It is creating zombies.
Yeah. I like what you.
It is disturbing, especially in town. Around town there is that Freedom Way. They are found there with bottles. So I didn't know what they used to sell there. Then I discovered that it's the same Cachaso, and you see these individuals, as the medical expert there has mentioned, it kills the cells of the brain where they stop taking care of themselves. People start looking like zombies, and it's putting a health burden in terms of the country where we have the resources, distribution of resources. Many people are getting ill and channeling money to that.
But now I'm beginning to think this CDF scheme has been designed in a way that the local people themselves make decisions, and there are committees in almost not almost, but every ward.
Every ward, yes.
Isn't it possible that these ward committees can begin to identify, okay, that woman there makes Cachaso, maybe we can empower her so that she starts another business?
It's a very good idea. We can start from somewhere.
Yeah.
What is very important is to come up with community-based solutions. We must be people-centered. We must be people-centered. You add the human face to issues, to interventions.
Yeah.
For instance, the Ministry of Local Government, they have banned the brewing of the same kachas, but it is going on in the communities. And we tend to be active when there's an issue. That's when we go into the communities, displace these people. When we leave behind, they start. Yeah. So such interventions are very good. CDF can be used.
Yeah, and as maybe we have heard in the report there, people resort to brewing kachas because it's the only business they can do. And to tell you how cheap or how little capital you need to start that, that's when you can understand that, oh, that's why people go into that. All you need is sugar cane.
Wow.
Yeah, you need sugar cane, you need some yeast and whatnot. Very cheap.
No
and then you are off to go.
No wonder people resort to that.
Yeah.
But I think, like you have mentioned, CDF can also be used, and it's also under the Ministry of Local Government. They can identify these people in these communities and give them alternative businesses.
Yeah.
Because this has also been the challenge with charcoal, where you see these people are bringing charcoal in the city. It's more of an economic issue, and because citizens, they look at the charcoal, it's readily available.
Yeah.
That is why they are failing to diversify into gas and these other issues. Yeah. So when we don't see charcoal, when we don't see kachas, that's when we see people staying away from these things.
Yeah, and as you said, I think we are more reactive. I think the approach we need to take is to be active. Let's prevent some of these issues at the start point.
From the source. Yes.
From the source. Not, as you say, when something happens, you are in a crisis, for example, that's when you begin to think of, okay, let's go to look for what's causing this. I think that way it won't work for us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you can zoom some of stories you have from your end there.
All right. So I think let me take two at once. We have a story here coming from Chongo, where some people based in Chongo and Rufunsa district in Lusaka province have called on the government to seize the opportunity of the International Children's Day of Broadcasting (ICDB) to tackle various challenges affecting children. Speaking during a preparatory workshop on ICDB organized by World Vision in Chongwe for 40 pupils from 10 schools in the two districts, Zeweranji Sinkala, a grade 11 pupil, underscored the need for addressing climate change, citing instances where pupils abandon school to sell crops damaged by dry spells. And another story here coming from within Lusaka, this I must guess, where 567 rather candidates out of the 10,926 have passed the November-December 2023 Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia competence examinations. Let's get to see these stories.
In recent days, the country has been hit by a dry spell induced by the El Nino, a situation which has led government to respond through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, through the provision of relief. In light of the situation, some pupils in Chongo and Rufunsa district have disclosed that some learners are now missing school in view of helping their parents with means to survive as their crops have been damaged. The pupils, drawn from the two districts from 10 press clubs in 10 schools preparing for the International Children's Day of Broadcasting (ICDB), called for the need to focus on adaptive agriculture measures, just like an old saying, children are future leaders of the country. Speaking during a preparatory workshop organized by World Vision on journalism for this year's ICDB, which falls on 3rd March 2024, under the theme, Children's Voices, Children's Rights, Our Collective Responsibility, the pupils, however, are calling for the need to address their concerns beyond the broadcasting day.
For example, poor farming practices, cutting down of trees, even other human activities like industrial waste exposure. So now this has affected our environment. For example, now, as of Zambia, we're supposed to have rains by now. Maybe even farmers have planted maize and other crops so they can have something to support themselves. Because there are no rains, because of climate change, it's difficult. So now this has affected children the most, because their families, a lot of families in Chongo that depend on farming as the main source of income. Now they are unable to send those into school. Their education is being affected.
What government to do is to put power stations. That place needs network, a lot of network for the people, the day scholars, to research more about assignments, because if they don't research about assignments, What are they going to learn?
Because it is not all the children who are going to be live on air and the sound and missing out the program. So just continue so that it can give chance and opportunity to those who are not that day.
I appeal to the government just to set up organizations, programs that may educate children on the problems that they may face if they drop out of school, sensitizing them the importance of going to school and abstaining from sexual activities.
As the workshop continues the following day, representatives of the 40 pupils are calling for the extension of the program to other parts.
As are encouraged to attend these clubs, they will have that full information which they will help their parents back at home, and the community at large will benefit from it. And also, if we also encourage these learners to attend these clubs, such as debates, which will help them in future to become future leaders. Like in parliament, they will be able to debate without difficulties. So as teachers, really, we are doing all we can to encourage our learners to be...
Our learners understand the importance of journalism, and I believe amongst them, even the interest will be different. They may decide to become journalists in the near future. My appeal to World Vision Zambia is that they can quickly expand this through subject association.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Chongwe.
The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia has recorded a 7.20% decrease pass rate in the November-December competence examinations to recording 52.80%, down from 60% in May-June 2023 examinations. Announcing the November-December competence and licensure examinations in Lusaka, Council Registrar and Chief Executive Officer Beauty Zimba said out of 10,926 students, 5,767 passed, representing 52.80%. Ms. Zimba disclosed that the highest number of students, accounting for 6,679 students, sat for diploma in nursing program, with 3,062 passing.
And a total of those who failed is 5,101, representing a failure rate of 46.7%. 26 candidates had their results nullified due to their higher education institution recommending them without the set education and training standards. In addition, 32 students were disqualified due to examination malpractice throughout the country.
On the other hand, the registrar revealed that for essential examinations, the highest number, counting 490, sat for the Bachelor of Science in Nursing and only 200 made it.
Midwifery licensure examinations and only 4 passed, giving a 12% pass rate. Let me repeat. And 33 candidates sat for the Bachelor in Nursing and Midwifery licensure examination, only 4 passed, giving a pass rate of 12%. Meanwhile, 4 students sat for the Bachelor of Science in Midwifery and had a 100% pass rate. For the Bachelor of Science in Oncology,
Mrs. Zimba says the results will be available in various learning institutions starting Monday, 26th February 2024. She has since advised those who have not made it to work hard and resit the examinations. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Alright, those are some of the stories that we are zooming in this morning. One coming from Chongwe, Mr. Kaptula. We understand that a few days or weeks from now we'll be commemorating the International Children's Day of Broadcasting, and pupils from Chongwe district as well as Rufonsa are there raising concerns that government must address.
I must say that the children, they are brilliant.
Right?
They are brilliant.
No. If everybody could take a camera, Mr. Kaptula, to speak here. No, we couldn't.
I think these children, they are good. So I was looking at, they are bringing out very good issues.
Yeah.
Looking at how, government can bring the issue of internet even to the areas. They are also advocating for issues, the areas where the schools are located.
Yeah.
Also thinking for those who are day scholars, they need internet. Also talking about organizations. I think they are brilliant. That's a good initiative.
And one call that they did bring out that caught my attention. Government must see beyond the ICDP. Yeah. The concerns shouldn't be just around the ICDP. It should be beyond that. And even when addressing some of these challenges, as they do on ICDP, it should be beyond that. Those things should continue after that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because issues, they don't just it should not just be ceremonial.
Yeah.
Issues, I think they are a lot, and they affect them day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
The other story is the issue of the nurses, the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia examination. So the results are out, which also our viewers should take heed to say there were details there in terms of the numbers of the
and one statistic that is still recurring in my mind: 33 and only 4 passed.
That is under the licensure examinations, one of the programs that we are starting.
So it's that tough.
In my course, it's just everywhere. Wow. I think that's how school is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But what is encouraging is that the chief executive officer there has urged those who have not made it to work hard and also receipt for the examinations. The results can also be accessed in schools starting Monday.
Oh.
Yeah, across the country in terms of the nursing and midwifery schools.
So I need to understand this. This is to mean those statistics are countrywide.
Yes, they're countrywide.
And so only 4 people passed and they are eligible to practice as nurses.
Yeah, in that program, yes.
Oh, wow.
In that particular program, under licensure examinations, 33 sat.
Yeah.
And 4 passed.
Okay.
Yeah, in that program, because there are competence examinations and also licensure
examinations. Okay.
Competence examinations, they are at school level. At school level, yes. But licensure examinations.
Since you are in the nursing and midwifery.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the highest number was 490 those who sat, and 200 passed.
Yeah.
Then the others were in lesser numbers.
Okay.
I think we can move on, and now the stories. I think let me get the one from the council. So, ruling United Party for National Development, UPND Series Award 16 Councillor Ketina Nyangwe has been elected as Lusaka Deputy Mayor. Ms. Nanyangwe polled 24 votes, beating her closest rival independent Kaikiriki Ward Councillor Shadrack Chimwanga, who polled 14 votes. Area drama had characterized the special council meeting held at the Civic Center in Lusaka Thursday morning.
Director, please, can you finish reading? No way.
Drama and emotions characterized the Lusaka City Council chambers during the mayoral elections at Lusaka Civic Center. The elections were contested by ruling United Party for National Development UPND Series Award Councillor Ketina Nyangwe and independent Kaikiriki Councillor Shadrack Chimwanga. After dramatic stoppages, Ms. Nyangwe, who was recontesting for the seat, emerged victorious after securing 24 votes, beating her rival Kaikiriki Councillor Shadrack Chimwanga, who scored 14 votes.
I,
Ketina Nyangwe, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor for the city of Lusaka,
having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the city of Lusaka,
do hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself.
I take the said office upon myself,
and will duly and faithfully save.
And
fulfill the duties thereof. According to the best of my judgment and ability.
Outside the chambers, a crowd of UPND supporters gathered to offer support to their own. Meanwhile, speaking to the media shortly after the elections, the losing candidate in Shadrack Chimwanga advised Ms. Sinyangwe to be impartial in her service, while the re-elected deputy mayor has promised to be a mayor for all Lusaka residents, regardless of their political affiliations.
I have accepted, and I think I've run my race. At least I've given a competition. So I'm just wishing her all the best. What is important is for the deputy mayor is that she has to be a person of everyone. She has to be a people person. She has to serve all the councillors equally. This is what is the most important aspect. Because if she decided to the other side and maybe ignore the other councillors, it will be it won't be proper leadership.
I'm very happy, I'm very excited, not just for myself but also for the party, the mighty UPNG, starting with the president, the vice president and all the leadership structures, and also our soldiers behind. I came to Lusaka City Council to work for the innocent Zambians, the UPND and everybody else. So henceforth, we want to unite Lusaka City Council. We want to work as a team, as PF, them and ourselves as UPND. We are going to embrace everybody.
A total of 39 votes were cast, with 1 vote having been declared as a rejected ballot. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Interesting scenes there that were happening at the Lusaka City Council and Civic Center. As you may be aware, or you might need to know, is that the tenure of office for deputy council chairpersons came to an end, as well as constituency development fund committees countrywide. So they have been holding these elections, and the stakes were high for the UPNG in Lusaka.
Yeah.
You were there.
As you can see, they were there in numbers. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there were more than 3, 4, 5 buses or so.
Wow.
That were ferrying these supporters just to go there and witness what the case would be for their councillor.
Yeah, it just shows the importance they attach to the election, and also, Lusaka is the capital city, and as a ruling party, you just have to be part of it. No wonder it was like that.
Yeah, exactly, because politics is all about numbers, not just on the ground, but also the numbers you hold in offices. So I can only imagine if they had lost. It means they would have lost influence at the council. So they need representation there as well.
Yeah, well, I think it went well for them. We saw the jubilation, the buses and everything were
yeah.
Your concluding clips there.
Okay, so I have 2 more stories here. One is coming from the court, where a state witness has narrated before the Lusaka Magistrate Court how Opposition Patriotic Front faction Vice President Given Lubinda requested for 3,000 United States dollars loan facility from a Chinese firm. The 48-year-old Philip Chibundi, a lawyer, was testifying in the case where Mr. Lubinda is facing alleged corruption-related charges. Another story here is climate-related, where the Center for Environment Justice is calling on Zambian insurance firms to swiftly provide compensations to farmers participating in weather index insurance programs. Meanwhile, Citizens First Party Deputy Secretary General for Politics and Operations, Dr. Kefas Mukuka, has urged government to conduct a survey in order to identify the affected farmers and offer grants to facilitate their recovery and fresh start.
A lawyer for a Chinese company, Kuinao Ruchang Cotton Industrial Company Limited, Philip Chibundi, has testified before the Lusaka Magistrate Court that opposition PF faction Vice President Given Lubinda requested for a $300,000 loan facility from the company. In his testimony, Mr. Chibundi says the PF Vice President requested for the loan facility and in return surrendered a title deed or his property as collateral, which was returned after he repaid the loan in 2022. In this matter, Mr. Lubinda is facing 4 counts of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. In count 1, allegations are that Mr. Lubinda on March 3, 2018 received $50 million from China African Cotton Limited property reasonably suspected of being a proceeds of crime. In the second and third count, it is alleged that on February 2, 2019, the accused received $100,000 and on December 23, 2019 received $80,000 from Kwendao Runchang Cotton Industrial Company Limited property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime. When the matter came up for continuation of defense before Magistrate Stanford Ngobola, Mushanti Indanda, an executive officer at the Anti-Corruption Commission SCC, produced a warn and caution statements from Mr. Lubinda which were recorded by the Commission in 2022. After the testimonies from the 2 witnesses, Mr. Lubinda closed his defense, prompting Magistrate Ngobola to adjourn the matter to April 18th, 2024 for judgment. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Small-scale farmers in Zambia represent the vast majority of about 90% of the country's agriculture producers. But for the 2023-2024 farming season, most small-scale farmers will have nowhere to point at if the dry spells persist for a few more days as their crops are losing life. The Center for Environment Justice has since appealed to the insurance companies in Zambia to urgently compensate farmers enrolled in weather index insurance schemes.
In light of the current situation that has affected many smallholder farmers in Zambia, we understand that the weather index insurance schemes are a brilliant innovation moving forward. However, there are several challenges that have come to our attention, and this is why we are recommending a number of issues that these insurance companies should take into consideration. Number one, there's need to invest in operational capacity for the insurers themselves to ensure that their services they are providing are meeting the needs of our local farmers in Zambia. Secondly, we understand that there's need for transparency and communication with the farmers. And then also we need technology that is quite advanced on how they assess crop loss assessments. This should be done in a way that farmers themselves can also appreciate the process.
Meanwhile, Citizens First Deputy General Secretary for Politics and Operations has advised the government to conduct a survey to determine the number of affected farmers and give them grants so that they can start afresh.
It is really sad for the farmers. This is the more reason that government should now open up themselves to see to it that they help peasant farmers who are now facing this unbearable situation. They need to give them some grants and not loans. Let government come up with the statistics on how many peasant farmers are there in each province so that they can help them out. So that in the next farming season they can start afresh and they can start strong.
In recent days, disturbing images have circulated on social media where crops in some parts of the country are giving up, and if dry spells continue for a few more days, farmers will lose their investment unless a miracle happens. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka. Right, you are still watching the Friday edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show, and the stories that we just zoomed in. One is coming from the court where former Justice Minister in Given Lubinda was appearing for some corruption-related charges. I think we won't go much into that one. Yeah. But we have a story here, climate-related, where the Center for Environment Justice is calling on the insurance firms to ensure that they swiftly compensate farmers affected by the droughts. And we also saw there in the same clip where Citizens First Party Secretary General for Politics and Operations in Dr. Kefas Mukuka also adding his voice, saying, suggesting rather, that government should consider giving grants to the affected farmers. We understand that mostly the farmers who are affected are small-scale farmers who have no capacity whatsoever to ensure their crops.
Yeah, I think both sources in that story they are making appeals, and we just hope that relevant authorities have noted those appeals because they are valid. Yeah. These are issues that are affecting especially small-scale farmers.
And understandably so. It's not only them.
Also
later on, trickle down to us.
Yes, because they are the major farmers that supplies the country with maize.
Yes.
And we hope that the issues of insurance, they should come in handy, because the situation is there on the ground. It's there to see. As you have mentioned, you did a story recently at Soweto Market where vegetable traders, they are also now, they will be out of business.
Yes.
Because these are daily businesses. You make orders, you make a profit, you consume like that, but because of these dry spells, the sourcing for vegetables is also becoming a challenge.
I can tell you that the case now is not as it was. When you go back then, you go into Soweto, even if it's evening, you still find heaps there of vegetables, but not this time around.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was mid-morning, somewhere around 11 hours when I was there. But already we could see very little sacks of vegetables that were remaining. Yeah.
All right. Moving on, as we go to the dying minutes of the show this morning, from the courts now, a businessman has sued former Republican President Edgar Lungu over unpaid debt of $336,000. Happy Mwabamangata is demanding $300,036 for campaign materials supplied in 2016, including branded clips, t-shirts, and wrist watches. According to an affidavit, the plaintiff wants the Lusaka Magistrate Court to compel the former head of state to settle the outstanding bill. Mr. Mwangata alleges that attempts to claim the money were thwarted by Mr. Lungu's aide, Chisanga Chanda, both during Mr. Lungu's time in office and after he left in 2021. The last story that we are zooming in this morning is coming from Northern Province, where Luingu District Commissioner Chomba Chileshe has bemoaned what he terms as disregard of presidential directives by the Luwansenshi Constituency Development Fund Committee, CDFC. Mr. Chileshe observed that the CDFC in Luwansenshi constituency has thwarted implementation of various projects under CDF. Speaking when he flagged the distribution of 547 school desks to 21 schools in the district, Mr. Chileshe said local people are in a hurry to see results from CDF. He has since directed the committee to terminate any contract which has exceeded the contractual period. Few days after Lusaka's Kawata constituency flagged off the distribution of desks to 7 schools, Luwansenshi constituency in Luingu district, Northern Province, has flagged off a similar exercise. Luingu District Commissioner Chomba Chileshe flagged off the distribution of 547 school desks to 21 schools Wednesday at Luingu Boarding Secondary School.
I've been sitting on the floor during lessons. This will now be history because of our able government. These 547 desks will go a long way. We as pupils can promise you that we'll work extra hard to support the efforts of the government. May the Almighty God continue blessing you.
Receiving the desk, District Education Board Secretary Wanita Mulenga appealed to civic leaders to help sensitize members of the public on safeguarding the furniture.
Parliament, may I also make an appeal, and also our area councillor, that you also help us to sensitize the communities. These desks should not be vandalized. We shall also put in security measures to ensure that all the classrooms are security tight.
Meanwhile, officiating as guest of honor, the District Commissioner bemoaned the slow pace at which Constituency Development Fund CDF projects are being implemented in Luwansenshi constituency.
That the CDFC have allocated some funds to procure only about 1,875. Meaning, we still have a deficit of more than 2,100. Where are we? Where are we? This is a presidential directive. And once the president directed to say, you need to do this before this, it becomes a law.
Mr. Chomba has urged the Luwansenshi Constituency Development Fund CDF committee to review and terminate contracts that have gone beyond the completion period.
It is never too late go and sit down, reverse some of the issues. To tell you the truth, I will write a report over this. And the owners of the money, the one who is giving us the money, will decide.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula. Successes and lamentations of CDF implementation. There is a success there that they have delivered 547 desks to 21 schools and in the Wasenshi constituency. However, similarly to the issues that we are getting also in Lusaka is that the nature at which these projects have been implemented is not congruent to the pace at which a government has directed.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to calculate how many desks again?
547.
47. And shared among how many schools?
21 schools.
No.
How many desks is the school? How many desks is the school receiving?
26.
26.
Which is one class?
One class. Not even a class.
No.
So no wonder the district commissioner there, I think you can still sympathize with him. No wonder he's visibly upset.
No, I think we understand him.
Yeah, he's visibly upset. It's like it's a job. You take 26 desks at this school. Which has a diversity. I think it's not correct.
No, it's not.
At the end of the day, many of these constituencies, they will just end up with monies in their accounts.
In their accounts, yeah. Okay, I won't say mine.
And I think it's also very important that people like the district commissioners and others, they get on the ground, perhaps even to do cross supervision to ensure that these issues are addressed. Especially Luwingu there, that is it's a low constituency, though it's but at the district.
And one thing I can tell you, Mr. Kaptula, in rural areas, that's where we have more people than in towns.
Yeah.
This is simply because we have few schools. So you'll find one school covers a lot of a large settlement area, and so delivering 26 desks. No.
Yeah, that is more work to be done there, especially the district commissioner said he's going to write a report, and I'm sure the report is going to tackle many issues that are happening there. Those are the issues also here in Lusaka, where the district commissioner has promised to ensure that she deals with the soil inertia at the Lusaka City Council, which members of parliament are complaining about in terms of the implementation of the Constituency Development Fund. On that note, we have come to the end of the program this morning. On behalf of myself and Vincent Piri, in transmission, it has been Mr. Elijah Chifita. Thank you very much for watching, those who have also participated, and also those who are just watching. Till next week on the same section of the production. We'll be back on Monday. Your host, I've been Afias Kaptula. Bye for now.